3 Sovereign lawnmowers, all cheap finds, all going to be repaired. Enjoy. Right, okay, Gary's been on Facebook again, and we've got 3 lawnmowers here to repair. All Sovereign lawnmowers with Briggs and Stratton engines. Do they come with grass bags?
I don't think this one has.
That one hasn't got a grass box. This one?
I'm sure it's in there.
And the third one up on there, that's got a grass box. So you paid £10 for that one. You paid £15 for this one. And this was one you picked up last night. You brought it round last night. You paid £10 for this one as well. All pretty much grubby lawnmowers, but they're all there. And any of them other 2 work, Gary? Can't remember whether they work or not. This one, we tried to pull start this one yesterday, and it starts for about 2 or 3 seconds after you've pressed the priming bowl, and then it cuts out. So this is going to be the first one we look at. I think we're going to actually strip this one completely down. He's going to paint the deck. Let's show you around it. Again, normally you wouldn't do too much to these because they're sort of low price, £50 items, but as they're nice and simple to strip down, it's probably going to be worth us just doing that, as I say, because all the paint's flaking off the sides there. We'll retain the stickers, as you know. We'll just tape them up, and everything's there. As I say, this one did run, and as you can see as well, exactly the same thing. The old Briggs and Stratton classic engines, paint peeling on them, probably been left out for ages and ages. And this one here, what's the date on this one? This one here, as you can probably see, is 2008, and this final one over here, again, very, very similar. Faded deck. It's obviously been left out in the sun, so yeah, they're all going to get the treatment. Right, so we know it's probably going to be carburation issues with this. So what he's going to do now is literally take all the engines out of these 3 lawnmowers, paint them all together, and do them as a bulk thing. So at the end of the day, you can keep it nice and simple. They're all pretty much the same lawnmowers, and yeah, so just stripping it down now. So we'll put you on time lapse and you can watch. See you in a minute. Right, we're getting there anyway, but what we get, typical thing with these, some of these bolts are so corroded you've got to cut them off. So let's just show you what I mean. So as you can see there, we've got this bolt there. It's really, really tight. It's really beyond getting off, so we're going to cut these off anyway. And for that we're going to use the old Dremel tool. So Gary's just setting it up now.
There's power.
Being typical, my Dremel's broken. This was the 2nd brand new one I've had, so we've had to get the bigger grinder out. So let's do it now. Hold on. One off. We'll turn a bit in. Oh, go on, keep that. There we go. It's coming off. Hold on, just keep it still for a minute. That's it. Hold on. Right, let me get that tap out. There we go. That one out. Just tap that other one out. Left the top one in just to hold the thread so the engine don't fall off. So let me just give that a quick nip. Should be only on loosely anyway. We're going to put 3 new bolts in here anyway, so right, there we go. There you go. Right, so that's one engine out.
2 out.
2 out. Oh, you've done 2 now.
Yeah.
there's the other deck down there, and again, typical underside of a deck that you see from an old mower that's not been used for a long time or probably been standing about. All this we'll just get rid of and scrape off. We won't worry too much about the underside of this. So again, just lube up the wheels, the fasteners. So there you go. I mean, 9 times out of 10 you're going to get old rusty bolts, especially underneath the deck. And my air gun, as you know, my windy gun isn't here, it's down Jimmy's unit. So it can be really hard to hold a socket on one side of the deck and then go around the other side and try and hold that nut still. And sometimes you've got to resort to cutting them off. And as you can see, they come off pretty simple with a grinder. And my Dremel didn't work, so unfortunately that was something I've got to look into. But the big 4-inch grinder worked very well, and that again got us out of trouble. So we're going to need to replace the nuts and bolts, but that's what you have to do. So just have a stock of nuts and bolts in of that sort of length. You can get all that sort of stuff from places like Screwfix, where you can just buy them in bulk or whatever. And yeah, so Gary's just going to carry on stripping this down now. We'll see you in a minute. There you go, so you get the idea. We're not taking everything off. Let me show you. We're just making it less crinkly, and as you can see from this sort of stuff we had here before, again the deck's solid, but it's just got that surface raised bit. So we're just taking it down to it's smooth like this. You say you've still got pitting in there, but what we'll do, we'll treat that with Vactan treatment. So this is the stuff I use, as I've shown you before. It's called Vactan, as you can see. And this is just one of many different rust remedies out there. You've got Cure Rust, you've got loads of different sorts of stuff. Put a little drop in a cup. You literally, you ain't got to paint everything, you just got to paint over the rust. And just speckle it about. You can paint everything if you want. And this actually adds some sort of barrier protection as well. So again, you can see it's starting to turn black underneath. And that's all we're looking for. Because once this stuff dries, it creates a surface which has blocked the rust. And in actual fact you can fill straight over this or paint straight over it. I personally wouldn't recommend painting straight over it. We'll just go over that with possibly a skim of filler as well. But as you can see, it's already working already, as you can see, look. And basically that's all the preparation we need. So when that goes off, we'll just give that a slight fill of filler, just a very thin skim, and it'll have a slight rub down, and then it'll have a filler primer which will cover up any sort of blemishes. It won't be perfect, but at the end of the day we're not looking for perfect. Once we bury it beneath a primer, a base coat of red, which is just rattle can paint, and then we'll top it off with a clear lacquer, and it will be perfect. I mean, something like this grind will make your life so much easier, and they're very, very cheap. You can pick them up for about £20. This is one of the cheaper ones, I think you'll find. And these flappy discs, this is an 80 grit flappy discs, and you can pick these up between £1 and £2 on eBay, something like that. And they really do cut down your time for preparing these decks. So that's what we do. You may do it slightly different. If you do it a different way, then it's entirely up to you. Normally we wouldn't bother with a cheap lawnmower like this, but again, we like to show you this principle because this is exactly the same thing as we would probably do to a 250, 350 pound lawnmower that we may pick up for 30, 40 or 50 pounds. And that's what we do. You can do this. there we go, 3 decks have now been rubbed down. Gary's just marking up the labels now. I'll show you how we do that. Nothing complicated about that, just a bit of masking tape over the top. Run down the side. With a sharp blade. And that's it. All done. That just preserves a bit of authenticity. This was quite an unusual one when you sanded this one down. As you can probably see, it's got the original sticker on it there. The original label there from the manufacturers. Doesn't look like it's been taped up or whatever. But this one's got some yellow undercoat, or paint underneath is actually orange or yellow. Never seen that before. Don't know if any of you know if that is a fact that these were undercoated, or some of them have been undercoated, but this doesn't look like it's been repainted ever, so I'm not too sure about this one. Could be a special. Although, as Gary's just said, this one and this one are actually identical mowers, and they're actually made in exactly the same year, so there's a very good chance they're from the same factory, being exactly the same lawnmower, but as you can see, this one's different. Can't believe it, very unusual. Maybe someone from Lawnmower World can throw some light on that one. I can't. I've never seen it. So there we go, all 3 decks have basically been roughly treated there. The Vactan treatment is doing its stuff, and it actually dries in no time. As you can probably see, it's all touch dry now, so no problems with this whatsoever now. So all we'll do is just round where the edges are, as you can probably see there. They'll just get a slight feathering. Again, not worth doing it by hand. Just put a bit of 80 or 120 on a handheld sander and just feather them edges in. Ain't got to be perfect, because we'll be going over that with a filler primer. Maybe 1 or 2 coats depending on how it looks, and there you go, ready for the next stage. You won't be seeing that in this video, because while he's been doing that, I've been around the corner doing a little bit of work for myself. And yeah, the engines are straightforward enough to service, as you probably know. They'll all have the carbs come off, they'll all have a carb service, they'll have a new gasket and diaphragm, they'll have a good clean up and a blow through with the air hose. They'll have a little bit of a paint up, a rub down on the paint up, and also new spark plugs, new oil. Hey presto, we should haven't any problems there. Right, so probably in the next video there, you'll probably see us assemble this lot. These decks should look a little bit different by the time you see them, and that will probably be in the next video for reassembly. So until then, we'll see you in the next video. Bye for now. Oh, one more thing as well. Had a little visit today from one of my subscribers, John. Doesn't live too far from me. And John come round and we had a little chat and all that. Nice to see you, John. Another man who does lawnmowers, and yeah, there's plenty of you out there. And as John knows, he does mowers exactly the same. That's what first brought him to my channel, the lawnmowers. And anyway, that's enough of that. I'll see you later. Bye for now.